All right, please give a rock star welcome for MoRally!
Dear ladies and gentlemen, my name is Juma, and I'm really happy to be here tonight and present you MoRally, an online social impact game. Nowadays, companies face the major challenge that they have both to act responsibly, but also have to make sure that their stakeholders also perceive that. And MoRally is going to help with that. Over the last 600 days, I was working really hard on developing MoRally, a strategy board game, as you can see. And I had many playtesting sessions with many different players. And I got, over these testing sessions, really overwhelming feedback, and people were really encouraging me to go for the commercialization, so here I am. MoRally. Oops. MoRally is a people, planet, and profit game. In MoRally, the players are entrepreneurs who have to invest in sustainability projects. They have to create profits, and through creating sustainable projects, they gain moral victory points. And money is important, but it's only important to doing good. Now I want to show you how MoRally might look like online on Facebook. So first we choose the number of players. Let's go for 3 players. Here we got our digital board. And I have to place my bid in order to be able to invest in one sustainable project. I'm bidding 3, as you can see in the bottom. And I'm lucky, I go first, I have the highest bid. Since I'm really into green energies, I go, of course, for the R&D project for efficient wind energy plants and get a lot of moral victory points. So now I'm going to hand over to Dirk, who will tell you about the business model of MoRally.
Thank you very much. Down to earth. Once the development of MoRally is finished, we'll go live in 2 steps. The first step is everybody will, of course, be able to play the game for free. Our first job is to create a large community of players that will have fun, that will be challenged also by playing against each other, and we'll make sure that the game will be a success in order to, as a second step, include other companies that will be able to support the game by branding out the activity cards. You've seen the activity cards early on like the center of the game. And the mechanism, the game mechanism will not change, but we will actually be able to brand the activity cards and to include the story of, for example, Siemens, the story of the project. So to allow for Siemens to create or increase the brand awareness, and also to collect marketing information. Like, for example, A/B testing. We're easily able to create 2 or 3 variants of the same card and give numbers then actually on the usage, on the effect of the variants of the players' conduct.
Put your hands together for MoRally! Did well, man. Questions from the jury? And who cares on stage, please?
Yeah, feel free to ask questions. We're happy to answer them. Ludmila? That's Ludmila and Adi, who were also supporting the MoRally project.
Okay, first question would be that you said that you were already working on this for 300 days. I've 600 days. Wasn't this a weekend?
Pardon?
wasn't this a startup weekend?
Yes, but I come prepared. I did my homework.
You came prepared. All right. Won't bother you with that. My first question would be about the environment that you use, which is Facebook. Within my company, we try to discourage people to be on Facebook during office hours. So how do you see this? Because I think most companies actually block Facebook because it distracts the employees.
I'm very thankful for the question, actually. Can we go back to the slide? Okay, it's not possible, obviously. But the basic idea is not that company employees would play the game. However, the players on Facebook, so non-employees, will play the game in the first phase, just for fun. And in the second step, company will only use it to rent the action cards to be able to put their logo on it and their project. If Siemens is into wind energy, this is the story of the card. It doesn't affect the gameplay. If you have another company who is, let's say, IKEA, they might have furniture recycling project, and this would be their story, and their logo would be on the board, on the card. So every company can raise their brand awareness and actually market their own corporate social responsibility activities.
Okay, thank you.
The key thing of a good game is that people keep on playing. This sounds a very interesting game, very nice, but won't it get boring after a couple of times? How do you keep people keep on playing?
Well, I can simply tell from my experience that some people whom I introduced to the game and who are not friends with me, so they don't have to be nice to me, that they were playing the game about for 5 times in the last 2 weeks. And they were asking me, Joma, when is the next session? And they were inviting their friends over because they wanted their friends to see the game. So from this personal experiences, I can just have the feeling that people like the game.
Okay, and in terms of numbers, give me some key figures maybe. What needs to be invested first, and then what's your revenue in a year?
Okay, first of all, I've talked actually to one game developer who is working here on this startup weekend. So we already connected, so that was very successful already. And he told me that to make a board game digital and fancy needs about 100,000 euros. So that's of course a high sum. On the other hand, I'm sure that brand awareness is a really hot topic. There are other social games that are used for raising brand awareness of corporations, but they're really simple click and race games. They don't have any convincing story, and so there are no synergies between the profile of companies and the presence in these games. And companies can release the presence of on these cards for a certain time, and if they don't want to be there anymore, there are other companies coming in. And it gives them generally a lot of actually publicity. People will report on it in the publicity and press releases, and I'm sure this will overall raise the reputation of such companies.
All right,
can I also contribute a bit? It's quite hard to give specific numbers because we have a first phase when you try to test the game and we see how many players it gets. As soon as it gets many players, one of the options is that those players like specific projects of the companies, and for example they like the project or they share the project on Facebook, for instance, and for each share we could get little amount of money, so it does generate revenues. Or other way is that companies sponsor, or yeah, depending on the publicity of the game. So if a lot of players, we can get more money. If not so many, then we work to get many players.
Thank you. Some feedback. What was great? What can be done better?
Well, I think you stand there as a team. That's clear. It's also a clear story that I heard. One of the questions I still have is, of course, that first barrier you have to take to get a lot of people on board before you start making money. Because step number 1, getting the people on board, is essential. But that's part of your challenge, so that's clear. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thank you. I enjoyed the presentation. It was clear, came across really well. Well done, thanks.